Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, members of the committee. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be before you again. I've stood here a few times, and thank you for the members of the committee. I know you'd rather be out getting signatures this fine morning. I'm seeking the office for the United States Congressman in the 4th District because I feel that the world is still a dangerous place, and I'm concerned about my future, quite honestly, and the future of my children. And I think that, and I've said this before, that one individual might not be able to change the world, but I'm sure and certain, and I've proved it for myself and anybody that watched, that you can change your corner of the world. And I believe that I have something to offer to the congressional district and the citizens of this district based on my past performance both in my community and in the legislature. I'm 49 years old. I have a wife and a wonderful wife, Christy, and I'm a father of 2 beautiful angels, my 2 little daughters, and it was with took 2 days to make this decision once Congressman Platts announced that he would not run, and I talked to my wife, we prayed on it, talked to the rest of my family, and decided that it was something that we thought we should do, quite honestly, for the sake of our children and our future. With that, I have been in my community, I've been a businessman, I've employed people, I have served my nation's call, and I've served my community in various forms of service, the Wellhead Protection Society, president of that. I was served as the chairman of the Planning Commission in Carroll Township, and various other organizations like the JCs where you give back to your community. And something that I think would be important to you, I've been a soldier for our party. I've been a committee person, I think for 7 terms. I'm not a committee person now. I just feel like it's inappropriate for elected officials to remain in positions as committee persons if it's at all possible. But I've been a soldier in that way. State committee, I was elected to delegate, an alternate delegate. I was the president of the York County Young Republicans and the Pennsylvania Young Republicans, and I think my record of service in that regard is somewhat self-evident. I feel it's exceptionally important that as Republicans we stick together and that we do the work in that regard. I know the questions are going to be coming, Ward, what have you done to support the Republican Party in Cumberland County? And as many of you know, most of the 92nd District where I currently serve is in York County. Only a small portion, South Middleton and Mount Holly and Bowling Springs, are in the 92nd District, but I've gone far and above the call of duty to make sure that Cumberland County, they know that they're important to me as a legislator and that I support them. It's about 20% of the district. In that, I have held committee person breakfasts and lunches to make sure that they have the most up-to-date information. I've recruited candidates for committee person, and I've registered folks to vote, which is really, really important. And I'm currently doing that now. I'm proud to report one of the things I'm most proud about this particular race, and if nothing else changes, because I've been in it, I've converted at least a dozen people to the Republican Party. So I'm really, because you know how difficult that is. So I'm really, really proud of that. And of course supported the party financially and been at events and so on and so forth, helped other candidates in door to door. So that's been my service to the Republican Party, and it will continue. I feel that elected officials, the best thing that we can do as elected officials to support the party is to be engaged in good policy. Good policy is good politics, and then getting out and standing in front of the voters, standing in front of the citizens, say, this is what I stand for, I believe it's what you stand for, and if we're together, then why shouldn't we be in the same party? So that's my service to the party. I have elected not to run for the 92nd District. For me personally, I just think it's a decision I made. I don't think it's appropriate to run for 2 offices at the same time. I'm completely committed to running for Congress and being your congressman if you so desire. I would also say regarding the endorsement process, I think there's a time as a long-standing Republican member of the committee, the executive committee in York, I think it's important. There are times where the endorsement is important. And let's be clear here. The endorsement is to let other voters know who we think as Republicans has the best chance to defeat the other side in the fall. We don't want a Democrat to represent, they're nice people. They were nice people. I work with a lot of them on a regular basis, but we don't want them in charge of anything because they screw everything up. That's how it is. They're great. They really are. They're very nice people. They're well-intentioned, but they do the wrong thing. And if you say, well, listen, this seat is going to go to a Republican regardless, I would say you need to just consider that 10 miles up the road, Congressman Holden, a Democrat, has a lot of central Pennsylvania, which is arguably one of the most conservative areas on the eastern seaboard, the central portion of Pennsylvania. And so it can happen. And so it's very important that we pick the best candidate, the one with the best record, the one that can be the most effective, and the one that can win in the fall against the Democrats or anybody else that chooses to run. And with that, I would say I respect and will respect the wishes of the committee. If they choose to leave it open, I am very privileged and happy to earn every single vote in Cumberland County and across the entire district. If you choose to endorse, choose the one that you think will do the best job at winning for the Republican Party in the fall. And I stand respectfully for your questions.